keep the intros in. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy to the Party. It's your boy, J Sib, joined by, as always,
Kevin Crunch here.
And your boy, the Bull.
What a lovely week. I'm so excited for this episode, guys. Just so you know. But how's your guys' week?
It's stressful and made some decisions and just
Some pretty shitty ones from what I hear.
He made one great one, at least. I know that.
yeah, that's
The superior choice.
All of them was
Here nor that. God,
You're trash.
we're gonna waste 30 minutes talking about the war of Android versus Apple. Oh my God. But no, other than that, I'm glad the weekend's here and I got other shit I need to figure out, but I mean, it's whatever. Bright side, I got a higher raise at my job than expected because apparently it was a merit increase, so our overall supervisor just, I guess increased me a little, like not a ton, but a little more than like what was announced.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm not going to go into numbers, just, in case when this launches and any coworkers listen to it, so probably what I said already will probably be enough to piss some of them off.
Us being alive pisses people off.
That's
the air you
Somebody somewhere.
But, yeah. Your guys' weeks? Who wants to share?
What about you, Bull? How was your week?
Not bad. Finished up training at the new job. Go live next week, but like you said, glad it's the weekend. It's a hell of a commute every day, but
that's exciting, though. That's exciting, though, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, my week was pretty good. So I have something that I really don't want to talk about on stream, but is good news. I think I've kind of told you a little bit.
Yes.
But it's just something I'd rather not throw out there until
it's confirmed. Gotcha.
But
that's awesome.
It's been a pretty good week.
That's good. I want to hear about that definitely when we're done.
Yeah, I got some good DC news this week. My Panthers lost this week, so that's a downer. But
wow.
And probably definitely going to get our cheeks fucking clapped this weekend against the Niners. But I think the Celtics are undefeated in the preseason right now. Fuck yeah, let's go.
I just can't believe it's preseason already.
I was going to say, I always forget how... I'm sorry, and I know you both... Each of you love to watch one of these two sports I'm going to name here. But, dude, I forget, and I think it's kind of ridiculous because it's like, hey, give me some time for football still. But the NBA and the NHL start so early, and then it just feels like their seasons go on forever, just like baseball anymore. And I'm like...
Oh, not as bad as baseball.
No, nothing. Baseball's king of we play too many games. But I just feel like with the NBA and the NHL, it's like, do I really gotta... I have that same feeling and mentality of like, do I have to care until like the last month of the regular season?
Unless the Blackhawks are good, no. No, you don't.
Let's not get into them because it's probably going to be a long time ago.
Yeah, that would probably be a bad deal to get into right now. Especially, it's been a sore subject for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
You guys had a good run, though.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Great dynasty, but they made deals that they knew were going to screw them when the run was over and the players got old, and it sucks. That's what it is, unfortunately, with Chicago.
Yeah, they definitely had an end date.
But, like I said, good run. They got 3 championships out of doing it.
6 years.
Yeah, so it was like them and the LA Kings for a while. It was just those two really back and forth, kind of.
And it went to fucking San Jose. Or Tampa Bay Lightning, that's who it was.
Yeah, they're the big one now.
I haven't watched hockey since the New Jersey Devils were like them guys, them boys.
They're always in there.
They're competitive, yeah.
The Florida Panthers are the ones that fucking I don't understand. That's the one. That's the new one. I just don't get it.
Can we just get rid of them and get another team in Canada?
Dude, I mean that's where the good hockey is anyway. Not really.
Well,
not all the time, but
they're good. They're good, but they have not won their teams have not won a cup final since the 90s, right?
Right. I mean more along the lines of like.
And they like regard
Canadian
they regard
Olympic
the.
hockey,
I'm pretty sure the Canadian fans and teams are like, yeah, we're the better. It's like you guys don't win the freaking cup. It's like
Yeah, but I bet all of the players on the good teams are from Canada. Most of them.
we don't need to get into sports, American sports.
All right, we'll move to the nerd shit.
Semantics.
We don't need to get into semantics here. Don't you bring up how Canadian and Russian players come over here to make our money.
Our money.
Damn it! If I wasn't going to buy an Artemi Panarin jersey.
Yeah.
So starting this week off with DC, pretty much all good news. Fuck you guys, we're coming back, baby. So
one little tiny pebble at a time. You're going building the house.
I think so.
A pebble, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of bigger than pebble.
So this comes from the direct. Patty Jenkins has confirmed that the script of Wonder Woman 3 is done as of she wrote the last scene last week. Don't know quite how I feel about the fact that she's in the writer's chair again. Because I think we all probably agree Wonder Woman, the first one, was probably the better written. Well, out of the two, it's obviously just the better movie.
It is the better written one, yes.
Yeah.
Which, granted, as you and I kind of talked about, because we kind of scoured the IMDb page before this started, we did see another name that was a writer attached to Wonder Woman 84.
So you said that Wonder Woman 1, did she help write that script too? Or was that was strictly Snyder and
Alan Cronenberg, I think, and Snyder,
and a third guy, right?
Yeah, I'll find it real quick.
Which I guess that makes sense because that would have been around.
I feel bad not giving them their due.
When they were, trying to establish.
Oh, Alan Heinberg. Sorry, I was close.
Sure, yeah.
Zack Snyder and Jason Funches.
Yeah. Jenkins then wrote the second one with. You say it's Jeff Johns.
Yeah, Jeff Johns.
And then there's a third one on there as well.
Yeah, which
I don't
think they
remember.
were. Can't remember if they did just a screenplay or. Yeah, screenplay. Dave Callahan.
Okay.
So the story was by Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins, but when you go to Wonder Woman 3 on IMDb, which this could get updated eventually, maybe she isn't the only writer, but it shows her as the sole writer.
I don't know.
That's so
maybe.
far. But hopefully it was Jeff Johns' fault.
I was gonna say, so what we were talking about is how back then the DCEU was kind of in shambles because Batman vs Superman wasn't received well, even after Man of Steel wasn't truly received that well. We don't need to go into those tangents, and not trying to strike a low blow to DC, but that's the background information you need to know. That the understanding was that Johns was supposed to come in and right the ship, and he just never did it.
Yes.
So our hope is that maybe he was just why the script and the plot line of 1984 was just.
I hope so too.
Bad.
And that's it really depresses me to say that because especially when I was going to the comic shop every Wednesday, Scott Snyder and Jeff Johns were my two favorite writers.
No, that's what you were looking for.
And so literally we weren't getting well received, and I was like, all right, we don't have an actual true DC head, never have, still really don't. Hamada's the closest thing, but he doesn't really have any true power. But so when they had I was like, please just bring one of them over. They know how to be dark, but they also know how to be light if you want them to. Well, at least Jeff Johns, maybe not so much Scott Snyder, but so when they announced Jeff Johns, I was like, well, fuck yeah, I was all about it. I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. And then all I have heard is nothing but negative things about him being in these projects and just being a bad influence and just not genuinely just unliked by most people.
Like that.
And it just it's disheartening because it was well, fuck, he was
So the whole crew of these film sets, basically, everyone's
I've just heard various stories of and I can't remember any of them verbatim, but I've just heard enough bad things apparently behind the scenes of people not getting along or liking Jeff Johns.
Do you think that's a product of the way that the culture is within DC Universe now, or do you think that's a problem with him? I mean, obviously, if everybody else is the problem, typically that ends up being that you're the problem. But
well, it's like at the same time, it's like I don't really know exactly how much power Jeff Johns had. Was it just more like, hey, here's the story, write something that fits this, or did he actually get to come up with the stuff on his own? Because that's the other thing is like even the stuff that he's been involved in doesn't feel like Jeff Johns wrote it either, like completely. Like there are moments that happen where I'm like, oh, that's a Jeff Johns moment, but overall, just the screenplay and just the story itself just doesn't feel like Jeff Johns in a way, at least from his comic book writing style. And that may be just because he just doesn't know how to write a TV or movie script.
Or I mean, like you say, with it, if somebody that's typically like an artist, writer, whatever, is being hindered, and I mean there's something that can completely change the way that you write your stories, not only because of the influence of this is what we want you to do, like you said, hand him something and say write something that fits this. Mm-hmm. If he's not doing something he wants to do, that's the worst thing ever for an artist going into a position like that. And
a part of me really hopes that's it, because like I said, he was a favorite of mine, part of me almost just believes that it was it, because he was brought in to save the DCEU, but at the end of the day, what power was he really like truly given? Like, it's not like he was like, hey, you are our Kevin Feige. Yeah. It's like, no, because even like our quote unquote Kevin Feige, Walter Amada, doesn't even have the power. Like, he still has to go through Warner Brothers. Like, at the time, not necessarily anymore with Kevin Feige, but before, like, he didn't have to answer to anybody except for Bob Iger, that like the head of Disney. That was the only person he had to do. And now the way they're setting up now is whoever they eventually pick for that head DC role, the only person that he has to answer to is Zaslav. He doesn't answer to Warner Bros. Or HBO Max. He is his own boss and only answers to Zaslav. And that's how it should have been.
Right, yeah.
And that could have been part of the problem, too, is they didn't actually give Johns the actual power and keys of the kingdom.
Well, and do you wonder if maybe was Johns more of like a writing consultant on these
And that's
films?
probably more of it, too. Like I said,
like maybe they credit him because he really was brought in to be a consultant with, say, Patty, who's writing this movie, is like, hey, I want to do something with these characters and like kind of like this story arc from like the comics. So he is kind of the consultant that helps piece this plot line together.
And that very well may be, he may have just been like a writing consultant for a lot of the projects and may not have been like the sole writer. Because that like goes back to where I think it almost was just like, hey, fix this.
Well,
imagine,
imagine
it's not really like Jeff Johns is really writing it then. But
imagine if like they take if they took you and they put you in that same position. I'm sure that after a while, the powers that be would consider you a bad influence and hard to work with too because of your ideas, as opposed to what they're doing right now,
Yeah.
So I mean, shit, maybe that is the core of the problem. That hey, listen, if I'm telling you to do something that's true to DC nature, and everybody else around doesn't think it is, but they're the reason that it fucking stinks right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, shut up,"
Mm-hmm.
Until you show them that that's the way. Your keys to the kingdom are going to be a little bit on the way, just a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, decently good news. Hopefully, it's better than fucking 84. That movie was trash. Stand by it.
Yeah,
I think that's the majority. I stand by that too, and I hope that's the majority opinion.
I would hope so too.
I wanted it to be good so bad because I actually enjoyed the first one. I really did.
And I like the Cheetah character, and I wasn't like mad about Kirsten Wiig doing it, but it's just the whole plot development of how she gets to be the like mutant animal hybrid person. It's like that was
lazy.
Very lazy.
Lazy.
Yeah. That's honestly my biggest hang up about the movie, and that one thing about it is why I'm like, this is automatic garbage. Like, that's not the character. Mm-hmm. That's not why the character becomes like the humanoid cheetah that's nothing to do with how the origin story is typically in the comics. But anyways, we can.
Welcome to Zeitgeist.
Yeah, we can. I mean, if we want to move on, I'll shut up now on my hate about that movie.
Yeah, I get it.
On to slightly other good news, the Flash movie is officially locked. It's it's like runtime and everything. It's basically done. Shooting is done.
Yeah.
Principal of photography or whatever that was doing last week, it's done. Everyone was freaking out that Ezra showed up last week for that.
It's just advertising photography to promote the movie.
But yeah, so sent off to VFX. Hopefully Ezra stays out of trouble and that movie can release. And then he can be, and then they can be gone.
Stays out of trouble. I like that.
They can just be gone.
Good luck on that part,
Yeah.
but given his track record recently,
So yeah, I'm still excited for the movie. I've heard nothing but great things about it from the people that have seen it.
Yeah,
Like the test screen.
I bet it's gonna be really good, and that's what's gonna stink is that now this actor has burned all the bridges.
I know.
We'll see. What
I can't wait to see how it ends. That's like the biggest thing is how is this movie gonna end?
Not to kick you. I mean, you're not really down though either, so never mind.
Oh, I'm not. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Is the last
It's like even when you guys are when it looks like you guys are even gonna get a win, you take a fat L in some other way. Like
1 step forward, 2 steps back, baby. Let's go.
Like that. Yeah.
Is the burglary the last thing he did, or is that? I don't know.
I think that is the last thing he's done so far.
Who knows at this point?
Yeah,
I'm sure like Variety and everybody else are just holding on to their stories. Like, just wait until a month before the movie releases. This is the gem right
We're
here.
about to fucking teach them.
Release the tabloids.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. And then I did not expect to see this week out of nowhere. David Ayer showed a fan his cut of the Suicide Squad. Runtime, 2 hours and 33 minutes.
Not this shit again. It ain't never gonna happen.
Dude.
Dude.
Of course, we said that about the poster of the movie.
Yeah, you all said it about the poster behind me too. So,
Yeah.
but
all right, fine.
So this is from release the Snyder Cut on Twitter. Go figure. But I've been actually following this guy for a while. Let's see. So he tweeted out, "I had the honor of being shown the cut by at David Ayer Movies. No BS. 2 hours 33 minutes of incredible, a totally different story. Forget the theatrical. This movie has a deeper message." And then David Ayer retweeted it with the Steve Carell, the drink, backs. So basically confirming that he did show him his cut of the movie.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And so now, obviously the fans are going to rally on, November the 5th to get the release of Snyder Cut training. And there was also something apparently Ayer said something to him.
Warner Brothers loves the fans just enough to be able to bring something back and then just rip it out from underneath you.
I think they're real.
And apparently this is a quote. Yeah. This is release the Ayer cut, apparently quoting David Ayer, saying, "There is hope. Get the internet stirred up."
Of course there's hope. I mean, again, the movie poster behind you, there's always that hope now.
Yeah.
Like, they are a major company in media and production, and they caved to the internet wanting that movie. Mm-hmm. So, Kevin Garnett, possible.
Anything is possible!
Yeah. Yeah. So, and, okay, if it's 2.5 hours, I'll say this. Great, because, the other Suicide Squad movie of that first one is too short. And hopefully with it having that long of a runtime, we actually get to see all of the Jared Leto's The Joker footage, so I can get a better, And
according to the Ayer cut, Jared Leto's Joker steals the show.
Well,
and apparently the line where he's in the club where he's like,
see it.
The line where he goes, "Hunka hunka," apparently that's not in the Ayer cut.
I don't even remember.
He's like telling Harley Quinn to go to the gangster, and he's like, please this hunka hunka or something like that. I was like, that's kind of weird, but
But I just would have loved to see more of him because he didn't get enough to really make a critique of his portrayal.
that's kind of how I felt. But there's a lot of people that hate on it. I think people just hate his look more.
Basically,
than
if you're a DCEU stan like J-Sib here, get on your Twitter. Go make like 5 more Twitter accounts.
Oh no, we want to. We can't give them the whole bots thing. Can't. They already.
Just some burners. Just a little bit.
They're not.
Burners.
That's true. They're not technically bots. Then
They don't have to be. They don't have to.
Are
be
they
uniform
bots if
messages.
you're just managing all the accounts yourself?
I think
Aren't
not.
No,
those just burners?
No, because it has to have a repeated message on all of them for it to be bot.
That's true. Yeah, make the burners.
Make the burners. Release the burner accounts.
Don't be lazy. Make a different message.
Snarkut's already released.
Hashtag release the air cut.
November 5th.
How bad
Get it
do you
trending.
want it? How bad?
November 5th.
We did it once, team. Oh.
Is that
Jeff!
a message?
That's not
Message.
That's a horrible sign. The poster just fell for those who are just listening.
Oh yeah, for audio listeners, it's not.
Message.
It was just a corner.
Poster fell.
Damn, bro.
As soon as I said the release the air cut and J-Sib tapped it, it fell.
Ooh,
It's
that's-
not a good sign.
That's bad. That's bad news bears there. That's
Here, let me redeem it.
All right. What's up? What else you got?
Actually,
What else?
I forgot one little thing.
Oh,
So
sorry.
it's going to lead into this. Black Adam. The official run time, 2 hours and 4 minutes.
love that.
No, because now I know for sure I won't get what I want, and you're
I told you for months you're not getting what you want.
No,
this
that's a
movie.
lie. Whatever said that, that's a lie. I'm getting what I want out of this movie. This
don't
is
think you
BS.
I don't think you are. What I said was going to happen
I just
is going to
want-
happen, and the trailer confirmed it for me. I told you that.
Just watch.
As soon as Amanda Waller popped up, I was like, I know exactly what happens at the end of this movie now. And, I'm happy.
just
And
need-
this week it was pretty much confirmed. Still a rumor at this point, but there are the actual insiders in the game who got the test screenings and got to see it. Some legitimate people who
They're
have an
just
actual
told-
track record of being correct on these things. Reports. Oh, sorry. Should probably preface this. Black Adam potential spoilers here. If you do not want to know potentially anything about the movie, I might potentially spoil it for you. All right? Okay.
Or not at all.
Bye-bye. All right.
We have no actual idea.
We don't know shit. Reports Cavill Superman returns at the end of Black Adam. Plus, there was.
Plus a 20-minute fight scene of the Boy Scout
Nope.
versus the Demigod of Thunder for
Nope.
DC.
Nope.
Yep,
That's not part of it.
yep. They're lying. They're just keeping their tongue silent. They're lying. So then we all go to the movie, and it's going to be glorious. Please.
No.
Please?
So,
Please,
like
just let me
I
have
told
it.
you earlier. Sure, KP. Well, see, what's in here, we'll actually, maybe. The Rock's Instagram
So
post
you're
today.
saying there's a chance.
Here's the one thing. There is a chance because of what The Rock said in his Instagram post today. The fact that he said the third act, I was like, interesting.
That's why I'm caught on. Is
But-
he said that, and I'm just.
I hope that was a.
Man.
I think that was a slip up though. I think he just.
No.
I think he meant
No.
the end of the third act. You know what I mean? But
It could very well be.
Anyway.
Who fucking knows?
No, last half hour of this 2 hour. Fine. Hour and a half of it, even if it's a snoozer. If the last 30 minutes is the Boy Scout and the Demigod fighting each other, just. Yeah. Phantom Menace again, all over.
Well, bro, I mean, how long is a dope ass fight scene typically run? I mean,
Oh, not
average.
long, because the visual effects are too expensive to.
well, there you go.
That's honestly. That's why Man of Steel is cool, because it takes forever with the fight scene. Like, they spent a lot of money on the effects for that. And
It's hot.
it
I remember when I watched it the first time, I was like, man, I wish Dragon Ball Evolution would have been like this.
I swear to God.
I swear to God.
I swear to God. Dude.
Well-
That might be a fucking one of the biggest banging fucking statements I've heard since we
Dude.
started this. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
But, yeah, so the reports are that him and Amanda Waller, once again, as I told you, show up at the end of the movie to confront Black Adam. Apparently, that's also where the line from the trailer does come, no one on this planet can stop me. Apparently, Superman shows up in the traditional red and blue suit, and the John Williams score plays, reportedly.
Wow.
So not the Hans Zimmer Man of Steel music.
Wow. If that's truly just a cameo and it's not like the actual entire third act of the movie, I'm gonna be very sad. That's what I'll say.
I won't
right
be.
now.
I'll be fine with it.
No, you can't
I
do that. to
I'm
me.
trying to hold my excitement because, once again, at the end of the day, it is still a rumor. These people could be fleeced in the end. Although
They better be.
although the way
They
the
better be
Rock's,
fleeced.
the Rock is either going, all right, fuck it, I'm going to market the shit out of this, even though that is not what happens at the end of the movie. But the way that Instagram post, dude.
He said the third.
He's
act.
winking at the audience, especially after all the reports. He posted that after the reports were coming out too.
Yeah.
Just
I mean-
what he says something about.
He does have a knack for entertainment. I mean, let's remember what he did for the first half of his career.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the breadcrumbs, leaving them behind, letting people guess and build up their own shit. Whether it comes true or not,
Yeah.
But I mean, from the very beginning, when he first came on the Comic-Con stage, what was the picture behind him? Black Adam fighting Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman. He's back! He's back! Hopefully. Although, I honestly don't know if I want to see this movie with you guys, because I might embarrass myself from, like, pure excitement if he does show up. I don't know how I'll react. I think I might just, one of them, like, really excited kid things where they just go,
No,
they just shake really, and then they almost, like, pass out. That might be me.
dude,
I might just
I will tell you right now, if it's a packed theater, I'm not shy. I yell.
Honestly, I might say
I'll
something.
get busy, man.
I like.
I might just yell, "Thank the fucking God!"
Well, don't say that because they're, I mean, think of the children. But
fuck them kids.
Jesus. During Endgame, I was yelling. Like, when it's the battle for Middle Earth and the epic score is playing and all the heroes are showing up, I was, everyone's clapping. That's kind of also why I was like,
Well,
just
yeah.
clapping and yelling because I was hype. And honestly, dude, you won't be embarrassed. I'll probably be just as hype with you because I like Cavill as Superman, and I just want DC to get something going. So, yeah, dude, let's go.
And then I guess I might as well address the elephant in the room. How do I, as a Zack Snyder fan, feel about him showing up in the red and blue suit? Let me tell you that. Let me break this down for you. Give me my one. I don't give two flying
That's
fucks
right.
what
That's
color
right.
suit he's wearing.
That's
As long
right.
as it's Henry Cavill,
That's right.
I'm fucking happy.
That's right. We can have an off screen where he went back to the OG suit. 'Cause
Exactly.
That happens in the comics
Yes.
anyways. So
I
who
don't care.
cares?
And plus,
For all you casuals,
from a
that-
filming perspective
what
as well,
happens.
it's going to look really weird if there's like a face-off and you've got Black Adam in a black and gold emblem suit with a black and silver emblem. It just doesn't. There's no contrast there.
Right.
You can't do that. Like,
I mean, hey, dude, the Olympics. Like, if you got gold on you, you're number one. But we all know that Soups is number one. So he can't be having silver on his costume.
got to put that red, blue, and gold.
Yeah, he's got to have colors that have nothing to even do with the Olympics medaling system to be even more
Just
above.
America
Adam.
and gold. That's
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
America.
that's how I'm gonna spend this. That's why it makes sense for the red and blue, the Boy Scout to show up in the red and blue.
America.
And then also from Direct. Yeah.
I saw this actually this week too.
Also reports that Cavill has signed a complete new deal, obviously, if he's showing up for this to begin with. But a Superman sequel is in the works as well. Finally, we get a Man of Steel 2, or it's probably not going to be called Man of Steel 2. But thank fuck, he finally gets an actual sequel movie instead of
But
just...
after 10 years, man, like holy crap.
I don't care. Give it to me.
I mean, yeah, I don't care, but I just kind of like it's disappointing.
And just...
Or maybe just don't call it Man of Steel 2.
I don't
Call
think
it
they-
something else.
I think that's why a lot of people, and I didn't even realize this, there's not actually just a movie called Superman.
Yeah, like the very first one with Reeves, I
It's-
think,
it's
is
literally-
called The Adventures of Superman.
No,
right?
I think it's called Superman the movie, or something like that.
Oh, it might, yeah.
But
and then every sequel after, just
yeah.
like Superman 2, Superman
Yeah.
3, Superman, we don't
So-
watch this one.
because and thematically it would make sense
Yeah,
because
that's right.
in Man of
That's right, I
Steel,
said it.
in Man of Steel, he's not really Superman yet. That's more of him becoming Superman or
Nuclear Man.
getting to that point.
What
So
were
it
they
makes
thinking
sense
back then?
if the sequel was called Superman. So, fuck yeah. Can't wait for this fucking movie. I'm gonna be there opening night. Take my fucking money.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah,
if you
let's
guys
go.
want to go see it together,
I'm down.
might as well.
I'm down.
the 21st. All right. That's all I got this week. Banger of news.
Ooh,
Snyderverse is kind of back. Not that it ever
Yeah.
really left technically, but I'm still nervous for how that Flash movie's going to end because I feel like that's still a potential reboot at the end of that.
oh, in some way, yeah.
So we'll see. As long as Cavill's back, I'm happy. We got Affleck coming back for Aquaman for a little bit, or at least a scene or so. Apparently Wonder Woman is in The Flash as well. I don't know if you heard about that. Reportedly, she's in that movie as well. They're bringing the Trinity back, apparently, so about fucking time. All right, let's move on to Marvel shit.
What you got there,
Okay.
KP? You got KP. What you got, KP?
Not much, actually. I just feel like there wasn't a lot this week in news of Marvel. Other than, so we got our more in-depth Black Panther trailer for Wakanda Forever.
Hot.
Super fucking.
It does look it does hype me up more than the first trailer because, you know, we did watch it before we started recording, and Jay and I looked at each other and said, like, how, you know, they kind of showed Namor, like platform jumping off thin air because of his little wings on his heels, but it just looks sick, and it's like, okay, that's awesome, they did that, and then, like...
I think that's my... that might be, like, my favorite part of the trailer. It's not, but, like, in a way, I'm like, it's just so impressive to me. I was like, you got those goofy little fucking things. First off, props to them for actually keeping them, because that is a defining feature of Namor. But two, they actually made it look cool. I was like, well, that's something I didn't think you guys would actually pull off.
I'll say it.
Initially, I didn't think it looked good until I saw the second.
Dude, it's just so sick.
I just didn't know what to think after the first one, but the first trailer. I'll say it as an MCU, just straight up stan. My favorite part of the trailer was seeing the Riri Williams character
Yes.
flying in the Ironheart suit, because it's like it's been since Endgame since we've had an armored hero like in the Iron Man-esque, you know, those suits and all that. So like I'm pretty hyped to finally see that again.
Yeah, me too. I'm really interested to see how her character kind of turns out, her arc and everything.
Yeah. So one other thing though about this movie that I was seeing was, you know, we dig on IMDb. There is an actress that's credited as a named Dora Milaje character, or maybe just a Wakandan, I'm not sure. And then I read another article that I can't really cite the source because I'll admit that it was kind of in between work, and
I just don't remember.
I just don't remember because honestly I shouldn't be kind of looking at these things at work, but basically saying how it was a theory that Shuri won't end up being the new Black Panther. It's going to be this other Dora Milaje character. And I have a different theory. I feel like... So... I guess I should back up. The article went on to say how, well, that would be kind of lame if Shuri just is handed the mantle of Black Panther, when in the first movie they made it an emphasis of like,
That's why
you have
I'm
this.
not a fan of her becoming. I think you're getting to the point why I'm not a fan of her becoming Black Panther.
So they have this ritual fight of who gets to be the Black Panther. So
And she is not a fighter.
no,
She is a scientist.
She is not. So my theory on the overall movie is that it's going to be just like the first one. Like, she might want to fight for it, and then this other Dora Milaje woman earns it over her, and then the plot development of her character throughout the movie is her trying to now become a warrior, and then she'll challenge a second time to this other Dora Milaje warrior, win, and then that's when she'll become the new Black Panther, is my working theory right now with how this will go. A lot of the article stated, and I kind of had to agree with it, they're like, well, if they really do it where they just, Shuri just gets to inherit the Black Panther mantle, no challenge. It's like, well, that really undoes a lot of like this Wakandan culture you created in the first movie. So that,
Right.
and that makes...
I will say, Kevin, if she ends up being the Black Panther, I think that's the only way you can go about it. Is what you just pitched, because
Yeah.
I don't want her to be Black Panther. They made it very clear in the first movie that she is not a fighter. She's a scientist. Mm-hmm. T'Challa's love interest, is it Nakia? Is that...
So that's who
She is who I want to be Black Panther.
That's who I want to be the Black
Because
Panther.
for her, narratively, it makes way more fucking sense for her to get it.
I would like either her or Okoye.
I wouldn't mind
it.
that either,
I
because that
would
would
like-
make sense as well.
I would
And
like
I've heard
either
some
of
people
them
throw
to-
in M'Baku. Shut up, Siri.
Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome. I've heard people throw out M'Baku as well. That would be kind of interesting and would make sense as well.
But he's the
And I also think there's going to be multiple
He's
Black
the-
Panthers in this movie. I don't think... for some reason, I just got a feeling
that they're gonna have a couple suits and just
Yeah,
have like
like-
M'Baku and some others just wear them.
maybe, or just...
That
And I've even thought about like what you said of like, yeah, maybe Shuri does, or somebody, maybe it is Nakia or somebody else, and like we kind of do have like another Killmonger situation where it's like somebody else is coming to fight and take the throne, and then whoever ends up being it in the end has to, like you said, come back and earn it back from them or something, like,
Right.
or just maybe they're...
I never yielded.
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping there's multiple, but I hope in the end Nakia
Well-
is the one.
That's who I want to.
I mean, but honestly, that seems like a whole lot for a way that a lot of these situations have been kind of worked out in the past in a lot of movies. Stronger together, everybody's best attributes. She's a scientist. She may put on the suit for a little bit, but I don't think she's going to wear it very long, and I don't think she's going to fight for it.
Hopefully not. And then Jordan and I get our wish with it's either Okoye or a Nakia.
Yeah, I mean, somebody like you said is more of a warrior, like you said.
You got the cast listing, so scroll down a little. It's this. So this character, of course, they don't have her right there on the whatever.
Oh, wait, here.
I mean, yeah, you can do all cast and crew, whatever, but
Was it at the very bottom?
Oh, no, go back up.
Don't fucking yell at me, bitch.
Oh, you're going too fast. I think is that right there? Is that a man? I can't see. Man,
Yeah, it's a guy.
Oh, then not that. I don't know then. The name begins with an A for the character name, not the actress. Yeah, you're down in the...
Well, usually they throw
Yeah.
people like that at the
I
bottom
think
of the list.
she's more towards the top. I just...
Io?
No.
Or in... One second. Oh, wait. Oh.
That, yeah. She is the one they're thinking that might actually end up being. Because she had a named character, right, when you clicked on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the one. So, we'll see.
Oh, did you hear the other thing about Wakanda that came out? About the potential person who could be in it?
Well, we all know isn't the big theory that Doctor Doom will show up?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think in interviews the Namor actor like confirmed that he's like Namor is not the
Villain.
villain.
The villain's Doctor Doom.
He didn't come out. He didn't come out and say it's Doctor Doom,
'Cause
but he was
Victor-
like,
'cause
Namor's
Victor's
not
trying
the
to-
villain.
That's dope.
Probably because the Victor Von Doom and this universe.
Yeah,
is trying
now
to
it's like,
build up.
oh, so now Victor Von
'Cause
Doom's
Dr.
pulling the
Doom's a-
strings and making them fight each other, maybe, and then they
Well,
come together and realize that
He's
they're
a
being played.
big player, though, in
He
the
is.
multiverse war. So,
Well, yeah, that too.
and that's
But it also makes sense because isn't he like a leader of a nation at one point or something like that, or becomes the leader of something,
Yeah,
and he
it's
becomes
like-
part of like the UN and stuff like that.
isn't it like his homeland and stuff where he's
Yeah,
technically from?
Yeah. And then, so I almost wonder if he will get introduced in the T'Challa funeral thing. Like maybe he'll show up, be there a little bit, and then maybe show up again, maybe a little later. I don't know if we'll actually get Doctor Doom, but
Like a who's
just at least give us, Victor.
Well, we might get Victor Von Doom, and then he's just in it, and then later when we finally get our Fantastic Four movie, that's when he'll become Doctor Doom. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he's just a political player in this. And then later,
it would make sense. I feel like that'd be a
later,
natural way for him to kind of get introduced, especially in a in-your-face way. Like,
Yeah.
people like us will, see, that would be a moment in a theater if, you weren't with a lot of people, but, me and you were in it. We'd be, oh!
Oh, shit! Oh! It's happening! It's happening! Yeah.
the Leonardo.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
But outside of that trailer, I didn't see much for Marvel. As far as news, sometimes we back each other up. I don't know if maybe you stumbled upon something, but I really haven't seen much in terms of news this week for really anything.
I feel like that was the only thing. I know I wanted to come in and talk about that trailer. I know that was the one thing I was like, I don't care what he brings. I was like, I want to talk about that trailer because I am so excited for this movie. Okay, this movie should be the best movie in Phase 4 because this has been a rough Phase 4.
Oh, it sucks. I was thinking about that today. About to me with Phase 4, as far as the shows, the series that are on Disney Plus, to me the first two were really good. WandaVision and the Loki show. I personally, in my opinion, really like those. The rest of them, so far, have felt like, with what we've said about Kenobi and the other stuff, is that it's this kind of feels like it should have just been a movie that was 2 hours long. Don't know why I was randomly thinking about that today, but Phase 4 has been a struggle outside of, Shang-Chi and...
Yeah, well, that one was actually a banger.
Yeah.
But just... both, I know you guys are as hype. I know you got. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't really count that one because.
Well, it's half summer.
It's a halvesies.
Yeah.
But just, I know you guys weren't or at least you weren't super high on the first trailer. I loved the first trailer. I love this trailer. I love the tone of these two trailers. Please, God, let that be the tone in the fucking movie. Please let there be a lot of emotion and weight in this movie because it fucking deserves to be that.
Well, you don't want a little ha-ha in there?
Probably.
No.
No little ha-ha?
Honestly, not appropriate since Chadwick Boseman
No,
passed.
this movie, I swear, if we have high emotional moments and if I hear a classic undercutting Marvel joke, I might just walk out.
I mean, it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I don't mind a few jokes. I don't mind a few jokes, especially if you have a character that is meant to be the humor character, and not everybody is the humor character. It's that's fine. I don't mind jokes here and there. That's fine, but just not in the fucking emotional moments that they love to do it in, where it's oh, I'm actually feeling something. Oh, never mind, lost it because fucking dumbass number 3 had to make some stupid joke out of nowhere that just isn't even fucking funny.
Uncredited actor makes stupid jokes. Just automatic trash.
Writers in there. He's like, gotta have that.
But please, Wakanda forever. Be good.
Gotta have that.
Oh man.
It's on the writing.
So I guess
floor.
if you don't have anything, since we're already talking about Wakanda, talk about She-Hulk.
Wakanda forever.
That makes me uncomfortable.
I like this week's episode.
I think it might be the new favorite of the season for me.
Oh, yeah. The whole...
So what do I like? Episode 3, 5, and 7? Those are the 3 bangers for me.
Is it... Which one's the one where she... No, it was last week's, I thought, where she went to the Blonsky's.
I love that one.
Oh, yeah, that was...
that one
was
was
a good
hilarious.
one, too.
That was my favorite one until this one. Which, this one is my favorite for obvious reasons.
The obvious reason.
Who?
Is he back? Is he finally
Who?
not just a cameo this time?
Who?
He's actually in the MCU?
Who?
And his stunts look better?
The Golden Devil?
Oh, the Golden Devil. The ketchup and mustard devil.
Haven't you heard of me?
Yeah. Have you heard of me?
Daredevil.
I'm Daredevil.
And then they played the Netflix theme in the back.
Dude,
So good.
that was
So good. So
yeah, I loved it. When I played the Netflix theme, I was like, yes!
I remember this.
This is awesome!
good. Sweet.
Oh my god.
I loved it too. Just he walks in late to the courtroom and he just immediately goes into like, yeah, I'm kicking your ass, and she's just looks at the camera. Who's this asshole? That was so funny. And
And then what does she say later when she's actually like starting to like him? She's like,
she's
looking
like,
at me, she's like, I think I like this guy.
she says, I'm kind of into this guy.
Yeah, and I was like, are they really going this route? And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah! I was like, go this route. I was like, this is awesome.
I mean, she can transform at will, so yeah.
Not like it'd be a problem.
Yeah. I love that. She's like, you're going to take 30 minutes to beat up 10 goons, and he's like, that still, again, that math does not work.
It's not working.
I like when they talk about his vision.
Oh, yeah.
It's like what she say? It's like sonar or something like that.
No, she uses the actual, like,
Echo.
the
Echolocation.
real
Yeah,
echolocation, which I think is like a real thing. And
Yeah, and he goes,
Like-
I like when he goes, I see with echolocation. I was like,
Yeah.
I love that shit. It's
yeah,
so funny.
so funny.
It's so good.
She's like, oh my god, Matt, you didn't tell me so. He's like, well, you didn't really ask me. You just kind of proceeded to whoop my ass. Like, that was so good. So, on this review of this, I will say, very happy. Like, it worked. I was afraid that they were going to have a way too different of a Daredevil and personality, and it's like,
100%.
yeah, it's the MCU, and it's not dark. Like, the Netflix series, yeah, that's dark. But it still just kind of worked. It was awesome. I loved it.
He really does feel. Right. He doesn't feel as
didn't-
dark and brutal, but he's still at the same time, still feels like the same character. In a
Yeah,
way
it
still.
didn't feel unnatural.
God, this was awesome. I love this episode, man. I was like, why couldn't this whole season been just this level of hype? Just whatever. It's fine. We got this, so it's fine.
They gotta
We
have.
got
It's
it.
fine.
Listen, guys, they gotta have a wedding episode. Come on.
Yeah.
I liked that episode. That was one of the ones I actually liked. But I think that. Okay, so real quick, I got a little bit of things to say here. But first off, one of the reasons this episode actually works is because one, it's genuinely actually funny, unlike most of the other episodes.
True. Even though we just rattled off how we really like 4 of the 8 that have been released, so it's
but
at least at 50%.
I'm not exactly
Yes, the ones
laughing
that, the
most
ones
of the
that
time.
are the ones that we're not big on are kind of snoozers. I'll agree,
But
especially with the way the series started.
I also know there's like we got the group of the internet here who basically it's kind of hilarious. They actually exist in the show, which is wild how they predicted that. But I love it because they're all like, especially after the first episode, oh yeah, of course She-Hulk don't need no man to talk to him or whatever. What happens in this episode? What happens? What happens? What does Daredevil do? Oh, he tells her what the fuck to do and how she's like approaching things wrong. A man? A
Mansplaining?
man?
Mansplaining everything here?
And it was fine
Oh God.
because it also just, I don't know, I find that funny. And it's an anti-male show, but I mean, I don't know.
Is it?
It's not. That's my point.
Okay, good.
I mean,
Good.
at
That's
its
my
core,
point.
At its core,
is
yes.
everybody has been, not everybody, there's a vocal portion of the audience
Of course
that is
there
so
is.
offended.
It's the internet.
And it's like, just
It's Twitter.
get over it. Get over it. You got your moment, you little incels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. All right.
I hope that. Oh, the fourth wall breaks were also great.
They were again.
The fact that they embrace those more.
more.
But How did you guys feel at the end of the episode where she like what are you the Ferris Bueller? What are you guys still doing here? Like I thought the episode's ending. It ended in a very satisfying.
Oh yeah, I thought that was so weird, and then it just continued, and I was like, "Wait a minute!"
I remember sitting there too, and I kind of
what's going on here?
Especially because this, my kind of complaint is a lot of the episodes this season they kind of feel like they kind of do just kind of end out of nowhere sometimes.
So
this one I was actually like expecting it to just end, and then when she pulled, I was like, "Wait, how much time's? Oh, what the fuck is going on?"
Okay, so on that though,
hot reference as well.
Yeah, that felt like a punch though in the gut.
Oh, it kind of did.
It did.
I was
like, she said once she said it, I just sat there. I was like, "Don't you do that to me." I'm just like, that's so mean.
I'm forgetting what it even happened.
She says like, you were maybe thinking of some like, what is the twist? Like, because she says, oh, next episode's the season finale, and she says, oh, what's the twist that's coming? Oh man, and she says, is it a Red Hulk? And I sat there and I just dead faced staring at the TV. I was like, don't do that.
Was it post credit?
No, it's like we said.
Fuck, I just must have missed the whole damn part.
You probably shut it off at the Ferris Bueller ending, because legitimately, she just breaks the fourth wall, and you think the episode would be ending like all the others have, but then it just continues after she says the Red Hulk reference, or she said, or is it some other kind of Hulk or something? Isn't that what she says?
Yeah, she says some other Red Hulk or something like that.
She says, is it a Red Hulk or is it a different kind of...
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Something. I don't know.
But she said Red Hulk, and I just went, huh, well, that's interesting, because that means one of two things, obviously. Either one's coming, or this is their way of acknowledging it, because we're never going to get it now, because of what happened, tragically. So
yes.
You'll have that in those comedies.
So, no, it ends with she goes to the gala, and then when she gets there, like, she wins the award, but then it ends up, like, it's basically a participation trophy. Like, they give the award to literally, like, 8 women.
Wow.
And it's funny, because, like, the hardball, like, other female lawyer from her firm, they're just, what do you like about being a female lawyer? Or explain what it's like to be a female lawyer. And she says...
Twice the work,
she's
half
like,
the recognition.
She's like, it's twice the work, half the recognition, with pay that's really not that great for what I have to put up with, and also needing to answer questions like what it's like to be a female lawyer. It's then like they like start clapping for her and cheering. It was a great burn.
Oh yeah,
oh nice.
They're friends up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have turned it off when you guys said, because I must have just been like, oh, this is it. And
so
just walked away.
So She-Hulk, Jennifer, starts thinking like her parents and all her friends, and she's like really excited. And then it like they basically get hacked by Anonymous,
Hulk King or whatever.
Hulk King,
who's probably Todd. Let's be real.
Oh god,
Creepy Todd.
It could be creepy.
He calls her like a specimen, asks her if vibranium can puncture, then buys a vibranium fucking spear. Todd's a creep, bro.
Holy crap!
I don't trust.
I think figured it out.
I don't fucking trust Todd one fucking bit.
Creepy Todd.
It's creepy Todd. It's not Titania. Wow.
See, I quit looking away from Titania after she was been worthless for every episode she's been in. That's actually,
but
yeah,
so it ends where
so
Jennifer does like Hulk rage, and it's like the rage is breaking her control. Like she was ready to go full on like I'm gonna destroy the city, but then.
Oh yeah, because
the cops hold like hilariously like the cops hold like guns with red dots on her, and it's like okay, but that can't stop her.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What are you doing? Yeah. But she still like holds her hand up and like she starts to like breathe, and then that's where it ends.
Did you mention why she was angry? We might have went on a tangent. Now I mentioned that.
we did. So back up. So the little like there's a panel of television screens behind them. The Hulk King handle, whatever, basically they hack into it, and then they start showing, like, the asshole that she slept with, and then, like, copied her phone.
Yeah.
Like, he apparently, like, he recorded them, like, having sex, so, like, that's what's playing in the background.
Shit.
And then, like, all of her, like, text messages and stuff are popping up at the same time,
it's
too.
like all of her
life
feed,
is
and,
just
like, it's like all the
screen.
Bumble stuff, and all this stuff just starts popping up on the screen, and then, like, they tried to put a joke in, and like you just hear like the voice in the background. Plus, she's a slut.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh my god.
yeah, and so then she just smashes the television
I didn't know
screens.
if anybody else would catch that. I caught that too, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Damn.
Yeah. So she smashes the television screens, and then it causes this red alarm, and it's all like ominous, like red and black flashing, and everyone's like leaving, and they're scared of her because they're like, "Oh, she's pissed," and we know what that looks like.
Well, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that little bit.
And that calls back to the very beginning of the season when Bruce said, "Once they see you as a monster."
Jay with the hot bombs on this show.
I pay attention, boys.
I'm just too busy laughing at all the jokes, not even paying attention. Which is a first for me.
She-Hulk smash.
I usually catch all this stuff. She-Hulk smash. That was so predictable, but at least they said that.
They needed to do it though.
Dude, the rip it and rip, and
Oh my god.
and he just
Dude.
he falls like to the equivalent of like 3 stories out of the sky. Like so funny. He moves his legs up. I got 3rd-degree burns on my leg.
Dude, did you see his
Fuel in it.
Yeah.
did you see his frog signal in his lair, his lily pad? That was like supposed to be like the bat signal.
I
That's
missed
so
it.
fucking funny.
I just remember him saying, like, I'm getting back to the lily pad, and she's like, is this a place I'm supposed to know? And he's like, it's my lair.
Oh, very
The Porsche-
very subtle.
And the Porsche she was driving was complete, like, frog green color, and it was clearly just ripping off of, like, Green Hornet from DC, is, like, entirely what it was. It was just this rich asshole that's trying to be a superhero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Hopefully the finale sticks the landing like this episode did. But we'll see. Moving on to the next review of the week. We got, what was this? Was it episode 4? Or 5?
5.
Episode 5 of, I think it's 5, because they released the first 3. Or is this 4?
No, I think this is 5.
This is 5.
Okay. Episode 5, Andor. Yes. Wow, boys. Yes. I cannot believe... this might get kind of juicy. I can't believe I thought we would all like this show, Star Wars, especially me as like, the quote-unquote casual, but you guys see eye to eye, I guess.
And so you saying that is what I alluded to before we started recording, Jesus. I wish I had that job at a big
Sign up school. On our page, recruit.
Recording that I said there might be a reason why, and I don't know, maybe to me it's like, maybe it's just because it is so different for the Star Wars universe. I'm just kind of, like, I don't hate it, I'm just kind of blech, like, I don't know. I don't find myself looking forward to watch the show. And I think that might be just because when I now think of Star Wars, I think of, like, real high fantasy, like ships and lasers and action, and this show is more like, kind of like their Game of Thrones House of the Dragon. Like, it's been, like, kind of, like, way more political and espionage.
It's funny you say that, because...
Like, there's been some action. Don't get me wrong. There's been some action. So don't think that it's exactly like those shows of what I'm saying, but that's just the feeling of the tone that I get from this show, and for me, that's not what I relate Star Wars to, and that's kind of why I am just like, yeah, just, come on, just get to the good stuff. That's me.
Yeah, I feel a lot along the lines of how you do. It's, I watch it and I'm finding myself just asking, why am I watching this? Like, whenever I'm watching like a Star Wars, a show or a movie, there's when I'm watching it, like, I can't wait till this happens, or I can't wait till I find out more about this or that or the other. Like, there's a reason why I'm watching it. I love it. Outside of just sitting back and enjoying it, which I do, there's a reason why I enjoy it, or something I'm looking forward to. I think that's why I feel the way I do about this show, is because I don't know what I'm waiting for. Like, I'm just kind of sitting there sitting back, and I'm waiting for something to happen, and they're sure talking a fuckload about it. And they're fucking. I mean, dude, I thought like, listen. So okay, please understand that the last episode, and this is 12 episodes, so I give it. It's 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12.
So
12.
It's 12. So I'm giving it time, and I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not saying any of that. But last episode, and these aren't tiny little episodes. Last episode, you said learn this overnight. We go in 3 days. Ain't it been about 3 fucking days? Like, come get
chop shop here.
Get to business. Do something. Do something. We don't need 3 episodes talking about one heist. Never been, and never truly been Star Wars. I mean,
Like I said, it feels like old school Game of Thrones, where it's like they make the 3 days comment, and it's like, oh, so now these next 3 episodes are going to be each day. It's like that's like some real Game of Thrones feeling.
I swear to God.
Like,
and it's not that, and like I said, it's not that I don't like it, and it's not that I don't appreciate it. And we were talking earlier, but we ixnay that from the record. It's a beautiful show. It's very well done, very well
Agreed.
made. The acting is fantastic.
Agreed.
It's very well done.
and there are actual, even though I think the writers and that they came out and said like they didn't really care about Easter eggs. They definitely still have put Easter eggs in this show, especially at least in the last 2 episodes. The first 3 that dropped, yeah, there were virtually none. The only one I caught was like the if you noticed in the first 3 episodes of the company security task force, the ships they were in were literally like the Clone Wars dropships. Like, just go back and like look at the ship design, and then go watch Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the. Actually, no, just go back and watch Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, I said that, but just you'll notice that the ship design was the same. I noticed that in the first 3, but that was literally about it. And then there's been some other Easter eggs in the last 2, so that's cool. But agreed.
I just think to
On
back,
your opinion, Joe.
Yeah. I just think that to back that up, it's there's. This is the first one in a long time. Obviously, here's the reason why Mandalorian worked so well. We could identify him with another character that we all know.
Yeah.
Several characters: Jango, Boba, like the Mandalorian.
Oh.
You're right. I mean, movie world, live action.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
strictly, yeah.
Yeah, like initially. Like, so even then, the building aspect of building that character is so much easier. Because you already know, like, Mandalorian, like, that's something, like, to some people, like, to a casual, they'd be like, a Mandalorian, what the hell is that? But if you watch the first movies, you say they talk about Mandalorian as kind of like, almost like this mythical kind of warrior culture. Well, then now you get to see a little bit more of it. The building's already been done. Cassian, we see how it ends, and we see why he's there. I mean, we see what happens to him. But it's like, why do I really care? I mean, and you haven't showed it to me yet. And so that's why I'm still holding my breath.
Here's another weird thing, is that it was also those... I don't know if it was throughout the first 3 episodes, but when they were showing him, like, on the planet that he's from, and he gets taken by the one woman when he's young, I kind of thought the show might have more of that, like, back and forth, like, here's what he's doing now currently at this age, but we're also going to give you flashbacks of essentially how he became to be the person that he is, that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
So that apparently was just not going to be a factor in the show, so that's kind of odd to me.
There's still time for that.
I feel like that
But
planet will come back into play later.
If they did that, I think if they did that, though, the episodes would have to be an hour long.
Yeah. And there's still time,
aren't they?
Obviously.
Aren't they an hour long?
They're like 30 minutes.
30 to 40 in that
Yeah,
area.
they're not.
But it's still time. I mean, we could always have a couple of banger 1-hour episodes to make up for it, as long as they don't spend 3 days per hour-long episode.
Yeah.
Well, I love this show. I adore it, as you might say.
Make me Andor it. Make me.
Yeah, why do you Andor this show?
For one, Star Wars has a show or a movie that doesn't spoon feed you every fucking thing as if you're an idiot. There is actually good writing. There are things that are said in quiet moments that tell so much while saying so little at all that you don't get in any other Disney Plus show. Like I like most of the characters that are in this show. They interest me. Skarsgård or Luthen is phenomenal. Like a moment with him when he was getting his garb on to go to get in his disguise, and the moment where he like looks in the mirror and he like preps up and gets into character. It's like nothing was said, but you found out a lot about him in that moment. This
Yeah,
last
that was
episode,
cool. Yeah.
when they're doing the line walk or the military walk, and then he points out how, well, he should be on this side because he's left-handed. The guns point out. And then the girl follows up with, like, what hand is he? What hand is he? That tells you so much about Andor and how observative he is and how much he pays attention and how he picks up on things very quickly. He's very detail attentive. But, like, the moment with, what's his name, Cyril or Civ, the police guy who's at his mom's, which, by the way, this episode centering around the two stories about two moms and two different dynamics, just love that about it. But like even the police guy in the very end, Sid, is that what you said his name was?
I believe so.
When he's sitting in his room and he like opens up the holocron, doesn't say a fucking word, but he's just staring at it and staring at it, and it's like, okay, he's pissed, he's obsessed because his life's ruined because of this one man right here. He's putting up with all his mother's fucking bullshit and getting shit talked to.
Yep.
So that's his fucking drive right there. Like, this show is fucking awesome. I love this show. And like, and then you got the Imperial thing where it's like, you got the officer who like knows that basically the rebellion's happening because she's seeing all these like pieces that are mixing and she doesn't think it's random at all.
Too random.
But she's
to be
getting
random.
like
That
kind of shut
exchange
down.
was
But
good.
like, this show is just awesome. I'm like, my mind is blown that you guys don't like this. Like,
Because we want the Empire now, Jordan. We want it now. We want stormtroopers now.
But you're getting how the rebellion, like, what's
I
the story
know.
about? It's how the rebellion began. This is how
Yeah.
Mon Mothma started, or Mon Mothma. Is that her name actually?
That actually is
Oh,
her
I thought I was
Yeah,
pulling
right.
some World of Warcraft
Good job,
for a
dude.
second.
We know
But how she starts the whole
how
rebellion.
the rebellion starts.
We watched Star Wars Rebels.
That's the only reason why, like, I'm getting this perspective from where we're at right now in this show. But I know Mon Mothma. I know how it all goes. I know how this all unfolds. But I appreciate this vantage point. It's fucking well done. But why? Well, like, tell me why I need to see this. You know, like if somebody were to come to me after I watch all these episodes that we watched so far, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's good about it?" And I'd be like, "Oh my God, the acting, everything we just talked about." Okay, well, but what happens?
Oh, well, I can't tell you that part. Oh, no, really.
Well, thus far.
But again, it's thus far. There's
know.
12 episodes.
You're right, but you'd think in a 12-episode series there'd be at least a little bit of microplot there. But there is on the aspect of like him and his interaction with the deputy.
And
I don't know, I
like
think
Jay
there is,
said,
and I
think the corporate. Sorry to cut you off, Jay, but the like you said, the corporation officer guy. I feel like they definitely keep showing him because there's something that's going to happen with his character too.
Like, even the scene at the very end when Mon Mothma's in the car and her husband gets into it, and she's going to like do this new foundation for like donations and stuff like that, and like all of a sudden, oh, I didn't think you'd want to be a part of this, whatever. It's like, honestly, I think what she's going to right now is I think she's doing rebellion things right there and is like transferring money, and now her imperial, and like it's like
100%. That's what it is.
it's like, can't wait to see how that pans out. Her daughter's a fucking bitch, like. And just straight up is the worst daughter in the world. And it's just like, and then on the flip side, you got the
Cyril,
mom,
is that name,
Cyril.
Cyril.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got Cyril's mom who's eating cereal, getting shit on by his mom, man. Like, and like obviously his uncle is very important, and whoever his uncle is, which we're gonna find out, but apparently he's somebody very important.
Well, and that makes sense because
So-
he never.
Palpatine.
I mean, yeah,
Palpatine has returned.
it's Rey's other family. No, it's
There are so many threads in this story. Like, that's why I'm watching this show. It's like all those threads.
fucking Jesus. But no, no. You have lost. Okay, but no, Cyril's character I find very interesting as well. Only because you saw in the beginning he didn't fit. Like the Imperial structure didn't fit. Went before the Empire, got made look like a little bitch. Like he just doesn't fit that demure attitude that he has. He wants to be a badass, but he doesn't know how. Like
I think my theory with him is I think for a while he's gonna be the Zuko of this story for all the Last Airbender fans out there. His like sole mission in the beginning is gonna be going after Andor, hates him with every fiber of his being, and then eventually I think he's gonna join the rebellion.
I think that's what's going to happen too.
I think he'll pull a face turn.
yeah.
That's my early theory with Cyril.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on him, but some of them are a little bit more extreme than others. I think he's got a little bit too much light in him. I don't think that he's going to be necessarily somebody that's going to be...
He's too Boy Scouty.
Almost to a dogmatic fashion, if you would say so yourself. The narrow dogmatic view of the Jedi.
I don't think we're getting a Jedi in this
I don't think
show.
he's a Jedi. You don't got to be a Jedi. This time, Jedi are running for their lives.
I wouldn't say they're not alive. They're alive.
No, they're running for their
They're
lives.
alive.
They're running for their lives. But guess who's still out there and continuing to be born?
So
Force-sensitive people.
True.
But then again, nothing's shown that at all thus far. But I mean,
I think
but
we'll see
it's a feeling.
I think we'll see a lightsaber at some point. I think we will.
If we do, it'll be in passing. Like it'll be like a
Yeah.
box all packed up, and like it'll get knocked over or something. Like the Kenobi when they fucking take the box off, and there's fucking shitloads of lightsabers in that box.
Yeah.
Something in passing. That seems like the mood of this show.
Screw it. Just one episode. Just do it like you did Book of Boba Fett. Just have one episode with Inquisitors, and then a younger Tano shows up. Whoops.
Could
their ass.
Ahsoka show up? Is Ahsoka alive this time?
No, yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, she's
Well, you might
she's
get
going by
Ahsoka then.
Fulcrum right now.
She might get Ahsoka at some point then.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah,
It would
I
have to
really
be a
like.
very de-aged Rosario Dawson, or just a different actress altogether. Because I mean, we're talking about a
Dude, people
15-year age difference here.
people wanted the voice actor to come back and do it originally.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she is now, but
I didn't know that the actor that actually
think the
plays
problem
Mon
with her
Mothma is
is,
the one who like voices Mon Mothma in the anime or the shows. And
what's
stuff.
that? I'm sorry.
The actress who plays Mon Mothma in the show also voices her in like all the
yeah.
TV shows.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and Rebels. And so does Forrest Whitaker. He voices Saul in
Oh, I did not know that.
Rebels. In Rebels.
Yeah.
Not in Clone Wars, but in Rebels he does. And and Bo-Katan Kryze, her Clone Wars and Rebels character is voiced by the actress that plays her in the live action.
And it's amazing.
Katie Sackhoff.
And it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And she, loves that she has had that role, and, fans love her. She's apparently just awesome.
Yeah.
She'll sign a lot of merchandise, and she'll tweet it out, like when they show up in The Mandalorian, she, hand signed, a ton of pops. And took a photo of it. And she's like, "Yeah, my wrist is dead now." I was like, "That's so awesome."
That
that you
is
do
fucking
that.
cool.
Yeah.
To
What a
not have
sweetheart.
any fucking drama around leading favorites. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So
I hope you guys come around on this show. I think the writing in this
honestly have
show.
some hope for the second half of it. I think that it's gonna. I hope that it picks up, and yes, I will have a different opinion.
I just think the writing in this show is really good. I think it was funny you said something about Game of Thrones earlier, because I was going to make the comment that this show is the closest thing Disney Plus is probably ever going to get to HBO Max quality of a show.
I would agree.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of HBO Max, are we done talking about Andor?
Yeah, we can be done.
Yeah,
talking
we can be
about
done
it.
with that.
All right, not to totally change the subject.
I think HBO Max is figuring out that we like some childhood or teenage stuff when it's flipped over to some adult humor. They're giving. It's going to be an animated adult version show about Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, and there's a trailer, and now it sucks 'cause, again, it's stupid. You know, I kind of find this crap while, like, I'm on a lunch break at work, and I kind of see it way too late, and I didn't really get to watch it. But there is a trailer out there for it, so it's like another, like, Harley Quinn. It's another thing like that. It's going to be an
Interesting.
adult cartoon humor version of, like, more of, like, a kid's thing. Like, you know, like, when you think of, like, animated DC stuff, it's like, yeah, it's for kids, but...
It's for adults, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow! Okay.
Screen Bro.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up. So that's some hype. I mean, that might be one to check out when it drops. That's just some hype. That's all I wanted to say real quick, because you said HBO Max, and that actually reminded me of it. I forgot to bring that up earlier.
I didn't know there was a trailer out. I heard that show was in development, but I didn't know that they dropped the trailer, so I'll have to check that out later.
Yeah, definitely is.
I guess as a side note, since we're talking about trailers, Super Mario Bros. Trailer looks kind of legit for how the teaser it was. Jack Black, give me a musical number.
Do you yield?
Yeah. It might be a musical number.
All right, moving on to the last review of the week. Rings of Power. Did you get caught up, Jeff?
The very like Spark Notes version, yeah. But I watched all the other episodes, but I couldn't catch up with last night's. But
In time, yeah.
yeah, but I did. I think I watched the whole hour episode in like 27 minutes.
Spark Notes for sure.
Spark Notes for sure.
I guess I'll just start the discussion off just saying if this episode was in anywhere else other than the second to last episode, probably would have gave this episode like a 7. But the fact that it's the second to last episode, I kind of want to. I'd say I probably would have given it like a 5, maybe a 4.
Yeah, it was lackluster because the majority of it is exploring the character narratives that we didn't see in the episode prior.
Right.
With Durin and Elrond.
And the Stranger and the Harfoots.
The Stranger and the Harfoots arc.
I'm just so torn.
I was
about this
hype
show.
in the beginning of this episode because, yeah, I think it's in the beginning when they're like walking around and it's like the shadow, the Uruk shadow elf, and then all the other orcs, and then the one man that was like the guy that actually plunged the sword to break the dam. Yeah, I thought it was, they spoon fed it to you, but it was cool how like it panels up to the entire view of the area, and they're like, "What do we call this land?"
And it just hated that part.
It just says the Southlands, and then it just Mordor.
And
I was like, "Well, that's pretty obvious."
That. Yeah, that's okay. That right there. That's the type of writing that I think Disney is blatantly guilty of multiple times. It's shit like that. It's just like Mordor. It's like, yeah, we're not fucking idiots. We know what this place, and technically it's not even Mordor yet. You fucking idiot. But
dude, the last shot.
Well, I mean, the volcano that exploded, that was Mount Doom.
But there's still so much more left to happen for it to actually become Mordor.
Well, yeah.
It's just they even had the perfect setup line too, and it could have been such a cool character moment for Adar to say more. He could have said Mordor, and I wouldn't have taken his insult. It's the fact that they cut away, and then they just pan up like you said, and then they have the Southlands, and all of a sudden,
it would have felt
it's
better
like if you were gonna do that. Do it like bring up the map like that you bring up occasionally, and then have the Southlands, and then have like almost like a hole burned into it, and then it come back in to be Mordor. Like that would have been cooler than just the little text up the top. Get the fuck out of here.
Or like
they
you
could have left
said,
it with like that pan out at the end.
or they could have just not said
Just
anything.
let it go.
I would have been cool with that.
Yeah, because it'll be explained and expanded upon plenty, I'm sure.
But I also think it would have been a cool character moment for Adar to just if they would have asked him, maybe cut to black, and then all of a sudden you just hear Mordor.
that would have been cool.
That would have been cool to me. Or yeah, like you said, that would have worked.
Yeah,
like
just pan away.
You don't even have to say it because we all know where this is going. Like.
Yeah, you're not just watching Rings of Power and not have watched fucking Lord of the Rings.
And here's gonna be my other gripe. This first season, it feels like a prequel season. That's what it feels like.
So much character building and world building. Yeah.
What? Because apparently they're already filming season 2.
Yeah.
So is that when the show's actually going to pick up and get good and juicy? Because
Probably.
you gave us a tease in episode 6. I was hoping 7 and 8 were going to follow suit and keep the hype.
It wasn't enough.
And like I said, the episode as it's by itself is good. Like there are moments in like Durin and Elrond are my favorite thing about this show. Their whole relationship, but then even the thing between Durin the Third and Durin the Fourth, that whole butting heads thing, like Durin and his wife, their fucking marriage and relationship. She was awesome and delivered some great lines in this episode.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
there's so many things that I do like, and I will even say like love about the show. But then there's other shit in the show that I'm just like, can we just gut this? Like, do we need all this?
Okay, I think again I explain, like, not even meaning to explain this episode right when we started. All I did when I went through and watched that episode was skip through the dead parts where nobody was talking, and I watched it in like 27
There's
minutes.
quite a bit of that, yeah.
I mean, an hour and 7-minute runtime with everything, including recaps and all that. And I skipped through the dead parts and watched it in like less than 30 minutes.
The one thing that is keeping me interested about this show is who are the white cloaked figures, and then the dude just burns their whole village up.
Yeah.
Which that scene was sick.
It
Just
was.
holds it and absorbs the
Yeah.
fire into his palm, and then
was
just
pretty sweet.
breathes it out like dust, and just catches their whole area on fire. I was like,
So many questions.
yeah, because they
So
don't
many
talk, and I don't know who they are
My
at
guess-
all. Like,
Yeah.
My guess would be they're like, obviously followers of like Sauron or Morgoth, but they're probably like cult, like
cultists
yeah, like to that level to where they actually
Acolytes
have like
of the Sauron.
magic abilities, and yeah, like so I think they're like looking for the stranger because they might think, oh, that might be one of ours, like, or
Right.
or if it's not, then they're going to get rid of it, obviously, because
Well, and that was
Flower
my
on the tree.
initial thought, was like, if they're looking for the stranger, I thought maybe this is a very, 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 like all these characters we know from the trilogy movies, it's their younger self, their way younger selves, because this is set like thousands of years before the events of Fellowship, like multiple like, because it's even before, like, Elrond says to Gandalf and Rivendell, like, I was there, Gandalf, 5,000 years ago, or whatever he says. Well, this is even before that moment by, like, 1,000 or so years before that even. So, I thought at first, maybe this is Saruman when he first came to Middle-earth, and the other two are just the other unnamed pewter wizards that were with him, and that's why the three of them are just walking around together. Because, I mean, obviously, like, they wield magic, so it's like,
interesting.
I thought maybe that's who he could be.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting.
And
theory.
Saruman, as we know, just is an asshole in the end, so it could be him. I don't know. And like you said, maybe that's why they're trying to go find said stranger, because maybe they're all the Maiar, or however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they're keeping me pretty invested. Other than that, it's pretty lackluster. I mean, it's the Numenor people are recovering from basically getting almost annihilated with the other Southlanders, and
See, don't they got to get flooded next episode? Wasn't like the city getting flooded like in the trailers?
the actual island.
Yeah, of Numenor.
Right, like they have the visions from the Palantir that they have on Numenor. The Palantir.
Oh, I guess they
showing
are.
them.
Yeah, I guess they already showed it. So maybe it doesn't.
Well, the
happen.
Queen region even says, like, we'll be back with an even stronger force. Like, she's pretty hell-bent on, no, we gotta kill this evil. Because she's probably in the belief that, well, if we don't stop them here, they're gonna get enormous and just come get us anyway. And, like, Elendil and Isildur obviously eventually have to go rule Gondor at some... Like, Gondor has to be made at some point. So
Isildur's dead. I don't know what you're talking about. Along with Kellum, whatever, Galadriel's
that's
husband.
not canon breaking at all whatsoever.
I don't think he's actually dead.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He
I know
can't
he's
be
not dead. That's what I'm saying. You got people freaking out like he can't be dead, and it's like he's not dead.
He legitimately can't be dead. Like,
He's not dead.
otherwise, it's like, well, explain all this.
Well, just like the ending of last episode when the virus engulfs Galadriel.
Right, it's like, well, I'm pretty sure she's not. She's like, well, I know she's not dead.
Well, I can't wait for the next episode when she stands up.
Yeah, right. With a bunch of dead people on her. Elf just doing elf shit, man. Sucks to suck, you human little bitch.
Can't wait for the next episode when she stands up. She dies, then comes back. I'm Gladriel the White. Yes, Gladriel. That's what they called me.
And scene.
I'm Gladriel the White. Which would make sense because she wears a white dress in The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings movie. Shit.
I will say, at least Galadriel is starting to seem more like the Galadriel that we know from the movies in this episode. A little more.
Yeah, she starts getting that perspective.
She's not like
I think
revenge and bloodlust driven right now.
I think is it Ardor or Ador? What's his name? The Uruk's name.
Adar.
Adar. Sorry, Adar. Okay, they don't say it enough.
I know.
Sit there and call.
And when they do, they chant it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think when Adar basically called her out and said, like, it seems like I'm not the only elf in the room touched by darkness or something, he alluded, like, that she's basically, like...
Turning to the dark side.
Yes. But... Which also kind of makes sense, because really the whole thing, even by the time you get to The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings... And it's more Lord of the Rings that she has the whole woodland elves, and like they're their own sect and thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's mainly because like I don't know. I wonder if this show will explain like one half the battle on Mount Doom, and then because I think Gil-galad dies in that battle, and that might be like why the elves all split up because they're just like, well.
No unifying
king anymore.
What do you think about the Balrog showing up at the end?
Yes, hype.
But what's gonna happen with that?
Well, we probably won't get crap this next episode.
Because isn't that supposed to be Durin's Bane? He's the one that like destroy. Yeah, like doesn't that like? I mean, granted, I don't care. I'm not a Tolkien fucking nut.
But no, you're right.
But like the story, like.
That's what it is, Jordan.
That can't happen now.
But no, that's what it is, though, is eventually the dwarves will dig up all that mithril, and then that's the whole point in Fellowship, where Saruman's narrating. He's like, Moria, he's like, you don't want to go into those mines, because the dwarves got too greedy and dug too deep,
Yep.
and they awoken Balrogs. So it's the same thing... At this place, this isn't Moria though, where they're at with Durin and them.
Is it Khazad Dûm?
I don't know if it's actually. It might be Khazad Dûm.
I'm actually not 100% sure where they're at.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch it, but anyways, but that is like what happens is the dwarves dig up mithril from the ground, and then like yes, it ran so deep that they wake up the Balrogs that are like. Down there and we're asleep.
So you think that's just a tease for another season? It's like, hey, Balrog
I just
eventually.
doubt that it will happen in the next episode.
I hope not. I feel like that's just way too early.
I think that's just a tease.
And I feel like that means Durin's gonna die, and I feel like he's gonna die eventually, but I don't want him to die now.
Well, he's definitely.
He's my favorite character, I think, in the whole show, Durin.
Well, in the books, there's still plenty of dwarves, but the movies have kind of alluded to dwarves don't necessarily exist in bulk anywhere anymore, which, again, according to, like, if you actually read the books, like, that's not true at all. Like, there's still, like, tons of dwarves around. They just don't come out of the ground.
Mm.
But in the movies,
Makes
you
sense.
basically would think like they're like a
Handful of them.
there's a handful of them. They're all an extinct race, and if you watch The Hobbit, it's like, oh, if we don't go get this gold, our whole entire race is dead. And it's like, no, it's not at all.
It's just not what it was at one point.
Yeah.
So this show officially reached the point of how you feel for Andor about me. The fuck am I watching this for?
Yeah.
Because right now the only reason I'm watching it is for Elrond and Durin. That's it.
Yeah.
And it seems like and that's why I kind of feel like this is like a prequel season in a weird fucking way. Because this whole season was basically just about meeting the characters, getting introduced to them, and then seeing Mordor get created, or the start of Mordor.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's go into this. What are your predictions for the finale? What questions that have been raised do you think are actually going to get answered in the finale? Is Sauron going to pop up? Are we going to get a big battle? Is the Balrog going to appear? Who's Adar? Is Adar potentially going to get defeated in this episode? Will he maybe make it to season 2?
How far are we jumping forward? That was my question when it ended. How far are we jumping forward? Because there was a lot of endings there, like with...
That's honestly the only way I feel like this show might be able to save itself, is if they pull a fucking House of Dragons and just do a bunch of time skips throughout the whole series. Because you can keep Galadriel and Elrond. They're elves.
You actually have to keep.
Well, no, I mean, as far as the actors.
No
I
question.
know.
No question. No, I think that if they jump far enough, cause the way that it ended, with all the interactions they had, where will you go, for a fresh start, like.
Well, the art, yeah, because at the very end of this episode, it already showed them on the boat going back to Numenor.
Thank
Now-
God. Don't have an episode of them waiting to leave to go back to Numenor.
So,
just a whole
but
Galadriel stayed with Halbrand, right?
She took Halbrand with him to the Elven lands to give him Elven
So
medicine.
that's the thing, is the last episode's going to be that they're going to sit there and say, like, yo, he's actually coming back. Like, he's not here yet. Sauron is coming. He's coming. He's not here. Oh, God, it's Game of Thrones.
Some people
Sit
still
here
think
and wait
that,
for
like...
Sauron forever!
And then you'll get a
Do you think Halbrand is...
dark ass shot battle scene
No!
in the
No!
middle of the night?
Oh, no!
Half of the battle you won't see. It'll happen in the tree line.
Oh,
We're
God.
gonna have some character that we spent the last 7 years loving, who's gonna 180 on her personality and kill a whole bunch of people. It's gonna make no sense at all. All right, I'm done.
Ring the bell. Dong. Dong.
Oh. But it's like...
Please.
And you know exactly what moment that is, too.
But
I'm
no,
talking about. I went
great posed question, because honestly, the second you started asking it, I thought, yeah, how is this gonna end?
Like, is Sauron finally going to get revealed? Like...
I don't think so.
No.
Because like we said, man, how is he Sauron the Deceiver if they apparently already know he's this big baddie? How's he going to be the Deceiver then if, like, okay, we have it in our history books that this guy's a total asshole.
Well,
So
can't Sauron, like, change his appearance, though?
so that's what it is like it has to be some narrative that they're going to do where he can change
So that
his
kind of begs the
appearance.
question, is one of the theories out there. Well, there's two.
Well, my buddy...
Some
that's-
people think Sauron is Halbrand, potentially. I hope he becomes the Witch King, personally. Or it's a stranger, still. I don't think the stranger is Sauron.
So, apparently in the Silmarillion, or the appendixes, my friend told me that Sauron is described as being this very, like, beautiful man.
Elf. I think he's an elf in the book. Because he's the one that... he's the one that eventually, like... He has a name, too. I can't remember what it is.
I didn't realize he was an elf. I just thought he was a Maiar like all the others.
Maybe not. I could be wrong, then.
I thought he was just a Maiar.
The picture that was... Or the portrait that was shown of him made him kind of look like an elf. But I know he at least goes to the elven kingdom, and he's the one that persuades them into
So maybe,
making
like
the
you
rings and
said,
stuff.
maybe he uses his magic to change his appearance, and he just appears as like this beautiful elf, and just gives them these rings.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Maiar.
I thought he was a
He is?
Maiar.
Yeah,
Okay.
his race is Inur, which is
What's his name?
Maiar.
Does it say what his name is?
originally.
Because he's called Sauron the Deceiver, and then
Myron.
when he has that, is that his name?
Myron was his original name.
Okay.
Myron, M-A-I-R-O-N.
For some reason that doesn't sound right. At least as far as that character, that might be his actual like.
That's his original name.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There's fucking Anatar, Ortano.
Yeah, whatever. Either way, so I don't know. It could still be Halbrand. I mean, because he's like the unspoken king of the Southlands or Mordor now, and I guess he just arrives stabbed and needs to go to Lindell or whatever the hell it is.
Maybe he is.
Some people think, or some theory is that like since Mount Doom has erupted now, maybe Halbrand like remembers that he's Sauron now or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know, like Halbrand and the Stranger both to me don't give off Sauron vibes. To the point where they've done too many like good, noble things, and they weren't really done in a deceptive way either. It's just if it happens with either of those two characters at this point, I'm just calling bullshit. Just like no, you didn't write it well enough for that to work.
I don't think Halbrand could be the Witch King at all. I'd have to go look it up, or one of you could just I don't know. The 9 Nazgul are the 9 fallen kings of man. It's like the whole thing is like 9 given to...
Which is another question. Where are the other 8 kings?
9 rings given to mortal men who are doomed to die, or something along those lines is how it goes. And yes, like it's like all the kings, I think, of men from like... I don't even know if it's like even from the Southlands. I think it's actually from the northern kingdoms. Because really, like, Gondor and Rohan are like they're the West Fold. Like, they're the men of the West. That's why Aragorn and Return of the King. The men of the West, because that's what Rohan and Gondor are. They're the West. So, because the kingdoms in the north are all dead and long gone, and again, all their kings got turned into the Wraithborn, so they're the Nazgul. And then the Southland people have just always been, just obedient to Sauron. The Haradrim. God, I might have to just go back and watch Lord of the Rings just to...
So I subscribed
this show.
I watched the first one the other day.
The Witch King thing wasn't necessarily my. I subscribed to this theory.
But do you watch the extendeds real quick? Yes.
Yeah. I don't. I no. Yeah.
I don't.
Gonna watch it,
if you're gonna watch it, watch the extended.
Yeah,
I literally can. I cannot watch the theatrical cuts anymore.
But apparently, that necklace that he has with that symbol on it, apparently that symbol is also on the Witch King somewhere. Apparently, so that's why that theory exists out there. So that's why I subscribe.
Maybe it is something, I don't know. But like I said, I thought the Nazgul were all the kings of the northern kingdoms.
And I mean, it could still be that way. It's just instead of...
Well, I take it when you show like the Southlands and then it says Mordor, it's like, well, I take that as like, well, okay, so all those southern kingdoms are gone then, or I don't know.
I mean,
well,
maybe
at least they're inhabitable at this point.
Probably the start of it. I mean, that's probably his attack on the north. I mean,
and even and it definitely and that might not even actually be Mount Doom, just because like I thought from the map that you see in Lord of the Rings, I thought Mordor was like the eastern part of the map, not necessarily in the south. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just hope we get something hype to go into the second season. I don't know. Just something. Maybe a little taste of Sauron. just a little taste.
Give me the eye. Give me the eye.
Hopefully, we at least get an answer.
The eye doesn't exist.
I know.
But what's funny is
the eye doesn't
that was the name
until he loses his body.
Yeah,
that's what the name of the episode was, though. Too. I don't know if you noticed. It was called The Eye.
That's why I said that.
Weird. I did
not
notice
which
that.
is why I think it is Mount Doom. Because
because when they're panning out, they make a very fucking at the very end when they're panning out, they just leave it there, and just fucking you're just staring at fucking at the fucking volcano, and you're like, Okay.
It's Mount Doom.
Yeah.
Plus also there's the line by the Harfoot, the scholar one who like keeps all the records of like saying his uncle or dad or whatever told stories about a mountain that would spit fire rocks, and it only happened when evil was back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would. Yeah, I think it's Mount Doom.
So one thing I wanted to ask about, and I might be thinking too much into it, but in the very beginning, when she stands up and she's, and there's dead body, she's walking, and that kid runs up. That was the kid that found the
Yeah, that's
sword.
Theo.
Mm-hmm.
Theo,
yeah,
yep.
the kid that found the sword. Dude was perfectly fine. And she, asked, "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" And he says, "No." And she, the way she just stared at him for, a hot, it was like a point of emphasis almost, how long she, looked at him. And, looked at him so weird. Like something's different about him.
He's touched by shadow.
Because, I don't know if I thought
be.
too much into it, but it literally, the moment lasted forever. I'm like, huh.
I don't know.
I didn't pick up on that, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe she
I mean, he did
sees-
stab himself with the fucking sword, the hilt. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe she sensed darkness in him, or maybe it was just one of the things she's like, "How the fuck are you of all people still alive?"
Right, and unharmed. Completely unharmed.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, he was completely unharmed, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
He's like, "I'm fine."
I'm
Just
an
walks
elf.
up to her.
Oh, he's half elf, isn't he?
Is he?
Isn't the what is his name? Arendar. The other elf that's banging Browen.
I don't think that's his dad.
No, they're banging, but that's not his kids.
They're
don't know.
banging.
I don't know. Could be.
They're banging.
I don't think they've come out and outright said it yet, but still could.
One kiss scene. They're banging.
No, dude,
They're
kill them.
banging. Well, they've
they
even
have-
talked about
they
starting a
have not
life
got to
together,
bang
fresh
yet.
start.
Well, dude, all the whole city is treating her like trash before she takes control because they're like, "You filth, you." You know why? It's not a secret.
Well, yeah, I mean, really, at this time, a lot of the elves, I think, are hated because it's like they just came into this land and then
Occupied it.
occupied it because they're like, well, we're the correct power that can fight Sauron and the evil and whatever. But, anyways.
But yeah, no,
I don't know what's going to happen in the last episode. Hopefully we get some nice teasers. I imagine really the only thing that's going to happen is Elrond's going to go back to the elves and say, yeah, it's all down there. And then Durin's going to run or something. Maybe he might go tell them, yeah, it's totally down there. And, hey, this leaf, yeah, look, it's all healed now. And it might, spark something there. That might be something.
He doesn't have the leaf anymore because
Oh, yeah, that's right. It fell down the hole. I'm an idiot. That's right. Forgot the Balrog burned it up. So,
but
never mind on that.
hopefully maybe we find out who
Well-
the fucking stranger is. That'd be kind of nice.
God,
If
I
they just
can't wait.
confirm that.
I can't wait.
I still feel like
It
it
bothers
has. I still feel like it has to be Gandalf.
Well, the flower on the tree, the dark tree, when he there was that whole calamity, he's healing it, and then the fucking kids almost get smashed, and then obviously he comes back and they miss it completely, and that's how their three cloaked or three white figures walking in the middle of a field find it. But no, I like that a lot. Obviously, I think that plays into what you're saying, Gandalf. That's what I'm thinking.
So I've heard some people come out and after this episode say it might be Radagast then, because apparently Radagast was really into nature and
He was.
animals.
He was, and it
So-
could be Radagast.
I just want a fucking answer. I'm tired of this. Just who is this bumbling idiot who can't remember anything? Just give him his memory back and let us know who he is.
I'm good.
I'm Peril.
I'm good. He says that. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Just take your fucking apple and go, bitch. All right, well, any other notes to add for Rings of Power, or ready to wrap things up for the week?
I've got nothing else.
Let's put a bow on it.
Alrighty. Well, thanks to anybody that is tuned in, either listening or watching us. You can always find us on YouTube, major podcast services. Also follow us on Twitter at officialT3P. Feel free to leave any comments or maybe questions you'd like to ask us, or what opinions on stuff you maybe want us to talk about. So we'll check those out, and maybe we'll bring those on the show. So yeah, till next time, it's your boy J-Sib.
It is Kevin Crunch here.
And your boy the Bull.
Peace. You know what I'm gonna say, Kevin?
What are you gonna say?
You're a little fucking bitch.
Christ, making me cut bullshit.